I want you to imagine a government where everything is decided and determined by religion. Everything is decided by it. It's in your homes, in your school systems. It even can take away rights of good tax-paying citizens. When you imagine a place like this, what do you think of? Do you think of Saudi Arabia? Do you think of Iran? Maybe some third world country that's ruled by some tyrant dictator? How about America? That's probably one of the last places you think of. Many people, mostly of the Christian religion, think that the argument of separation of church and state should go the other way around, that church and state should be hand in hand. Every person in America has the right to worship the God they wish, to seek their own truth, and not worry about persecution or indoctrination, especially by the hands of the government. By taking religion out of everything in government, and everything government money and taxpayer money pays for, taking government off our money, out of government buildings, and out of public school systems, we would see a lot of America's hot issues disappear. 16.1% of the American public categorize themselves as people of non-belief. Add that to the 10.3% of Americans who believe in other beliefs other than mainstream Christianity, and one would have to ask themselves why the Christian religion is playing such a huge part in our government. This was a problem that our founding fathers had thought of and were worried and did not want to have happen. With so many other religions and beliefs in America, why are we favoring just one? How is it fair to other Americans to favor Christianity over, let's say, Islam or Judaism, Buddhism, or Hinduism? I hope to answer these questions and find a way to fix it, but first, let's look at the history of the problem. The history of religion in our government is extensive. We can't forget why the early Americans came here. They came here to seek freedom, and religious freedom was a huge one. Freedom to worship or not worship is a basic American right, but mostly they were here to seek liberty and freedom, not just religious freedom. On January 1st, 1802, a letter by Thomas Jefferson addressed to the Dewberry Baptist Association in Kentucky was published in the Massachusetts newspaper. In this letter, Mr. Jefferson called for a separation between church and state. This would protect religious freedom so government wouldn't interfere in churches and temples, but likewise would keep religion out of government. It's very true that most of our founding fathers were Christian, as was custom of the time. But these men knew of the dangers of having religion in our government. Now let's just look at a few things that they said about this. John Adams, the government of the United States is by no means founded on the Christian religion. Benjamin Franklin, lighthouses are more helpful than churches. Thomas Paine, whenever we read the obscure stories, the violent descriptions, the cruel and torturous experiences, the unrelenting violence in which more than half of the Bible is filled, it would be more consistent that we call the Bible the word of a demon than the word of God. It is a history of wickedness, and it serves to corrupt and brutalize mankind. Thomas Paine. The list of founding father quotes against faith in government is endless. There's some from Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, many of the famous American presidents. Their dream was a strong secular government. That was their dream of America, not America that was determined by any specific religion. There has been court case after court case about religion in our government, in our public school systems, and each time the Supreme Court came back to Thomas Jefferson's idea of separation of church and state. The Supreme Court in Ryland, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, versus the United States, the Supreme Court wrote, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.